Hello, everyone. It's Brian from Home Painters. I'm really excited to bring you our next topic. As I said, I do this once a month and love to listen to my clients and figure out what the questions they're asking. Right now, it's exterior season is just upon us. And right now, we're talking about a lot of exterior topics. So, we're going to talk today about exterior brick staining costs, which actually is very similar to the brick painting costs as well. But that's a whole nother topic. But for the most part, brick staining and brick painting is almost the same cost. It's about 5% more just because the material is a little more, but for the most part, it's the same cost. Yeah, same process, similar process, just it's a different product. Okay, so let's talk about the brick staining costs. And by the way, we are 33-year-old company and working in the Toronto GTA, and for 33 years now, we painted over 17,000 clients, and we've done thousands and too many that I can even think of for our brick staining homes, interior, exterior. We do it all. So yeah, feel free to look us up on the internet, homepainterstoronto.com, and you'll get more information on us. So I'm going to talk about right now on exterior brick staining costs. And then by the end of the talk, you'll learn the costs involved, the process involved, as well as how long it takes to do it, and the factors involving the cost as well. Okay, so let's start with the cost. You're looking at starting, I'm going to break it down into three subcategories. So the first is going to be bungalows, second is going to be two-story houses, and the third is going to be big two-story houses or three-story houses over 3,000 square feet. So this way you get a better idea, because most people in Toronto have homes kind of resembling those sizes that I mentioned. So for brick staining for bungalows, your costs starting between 4 to 7K, typically for 800 to 1,200 square foot on the main floor bungalow house in Toronto. Okay, for a two-story house, that's for the average two-story house in Toronto is between 1,500 and 2,000, 2,500 maximum, but 1,500 to 2,500, we'll say for this sake and range, you're looking at starting in the $6,000 to $8,000 range and can go as high as $10,000 to $15,000. Again, this is general. I just want to give you a rough idea of what you're in for in terms of the costs. So there's so many factors affecting this. This is why we offer free quotes. But I just want to give you some rough ideas on how much that is. And then, of course, the biggest homes, which is like 3,000 square foot plus, and usually they're at least 2 stories, sometimes 3 stories. They can start in the $8,000 to $10,000 range. Can go as high as $12,000 to $20,000. I haven't done too many jobs over 20,000. Some in terms of a strict brick staining, a solid stain over everything. Semis we've done more expensive, but not brick, not a solid stain. I'd say 95% of our jobs are solid colors, almost like a paint, but it's a lot thinner. Okay, so solid, I'm assuming this is solid as well, not the individual brick by brick size, and painting the grout, that would be a lot more expensive. Okay, so you're looking for typical 3,000 square foot plus exterior brick staining starting in between 8 to 10K and topping out between 12 to 20K. Okay, and now I'm going to talk about the process. The general process is we do all the prep, which is if it's like in a construction zone, then you might want to hose pressure wash, but you don't want to use a heavy pressure wash. You just want to be basically sprinkling the water so it kind of cleans the dust off the bricks. In most of the cases, you don't even have to do that. You can go right on top of the brick. And you don't have to do any major washing beforehand. The other thing we have to do is fix the grout areas. So again, this is just minor little filling with grout caulking. So we do that. If you need something more elaborate, such as pointing or brick replacement, then you might have to go to a bricklayer or to a mason for that kind of work, because that's a little more extensive. So we do that as well as do any prep for that. And then we also remove any cables, mailboxes, downspouts, numbers, so that when we're applying the stain, it goes on nice and smooth. Then the process, it really varies. Brush, roll, spray. We do all three processes. It depends on the circumstances, depends on if there's a lot of room in between homes, what's around there. Like if there's a lot of valuables around, like cars and what have you, we're super careful. We're making sure that things aren't oversprayed or anything like that. So factors like that, wind, and of course weather, makes a difference which application we use. But the bottom line is any application, it's going to be look the same way, and you'll get the same result in the end. The final thing I'm going to talk about, actually the third thing I'm going to talk about is the timing. And usually a brick staining house starts at between 2 to 3 days minimum, and can take as long as 1 week for the typical one. And if it's a bigger home, like I said, a 2 or 3-story home around 2,500 square feet plus, give or take, it could take as long as 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, mind you, it's mostly the exterior, and all this is weather permitting. If we get bad weather, then of course we have to stop and then resume, of course, when it stops raining or when the weather warms up to at least above 10 degrees. Factors that affect the cost, again, amount of prep. So example, if there's a lot of prep involved in terms of washing down, removing fixtures, all that kind of stuff, filling grout, that makes a huge difference. The other thing is the speed. If you're in a rush and you're putting the house up for sale and you want to get it done faster than normal, sometimes there's a premium involved there. Most companies should be able to do it within 1 to 2 weeks, though. 2 weeks maximum. If they're longer than 2 weeks booked out, then it's up to you, though. Sometimes you might want to find another company that can do it sooner. Anything more than 2 to 3 weeks, I find, the typical client will get a little antsy. So it's not abnormal to have to do it within 2 to 3 weeks or less. Okay. Difficulty of the job is a huge thing. For example, if you're dealing with a 2 or 3-story home that requires special ladders, special lifts, or anything like that, it's definitely going to be more expensive. And then, of course, the final thing is going to be method of payment, which is check. E-transfer is usually cheaper than credit card. The majority of companies don't offer credit card, but if they do, then some of them charge a premium just to cover the merchant fee. Final thing that I didn't really mention was how many coats. Usually there's 2 coats involved with brick staining, usually. But if you're going from dark to light or light to dark, extremely dark, then sometimes it's 3. So it's really good to make sure you find out from the service provider or whoever's doing the service to make sure you find out if it's 2 or 3 coats. Almost always at least 2, but sometimes there's 3 coats involved, which sometimes is a little more expense involved there. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful in terms of giving you an idea of the cost of brick staining and what's involved, and generally what factors into the cost of brick staining. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to call us directly at 416-494-9095, 416-494-9095, or email us directly at sales@homepainterstoronto.com. We'll be happy to take care of you. As I said, if you have any questions, they're posted below. And if you like what you hear, hit subscribe, as well as give a thumbs up, like button. And it really makes us feel good that we're doing a good thing and that we're being helpful to making you make decisions and getting the brick stain for you as well in the exterior part of the season that's coming up. Hope to hear from you soon, and hopefully this is helpful. Have a great day.